up on Backyard Science, using fake flowers to beat butterflies at their own game.
The mysterious colours of the rainbow all around us, but how do they get there?
And look, no hands. How to get an ice cube out of a glass without touching it. Touchdown time for a flying egg. Can there be a soft landing?
Frighten your friends with a monster in a paper bag. Maybe hearing is believing.
And amazing patterns from an ancient paper puzzle. Make your own in a flash. But first...
Look, Jason. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a...
Can't be. Surely not a flying egg.
Now that's a backyard science mystery we're going to have to crack.
Ty and I are going to try and get some eggs down to Blake without breaking any. Let's try free fall. Oops, this is a stickier problem than we thought. We've got to find a way to soften the landing. Okay, we'll give this a go. Oh dear, not even close. Maybe it's our end that's the problem. We'd better think of something clever before we run out of eggs. One last try then. Here, catch this! Perhaps not. We're going to show you how to make cool pictures like these with an ancient Chinese puzzle called a tangram. You'll need a square piece of paper, some scissors, a felt tip pen and a ruler. Start by drawing a dividing line from top left to bottom right. Fold the top corner over to that line and make a crease. Draw along this crease parallel to your first line. Next, draw a line down the middle between the two parallels. Fold the tip of your card into the corner you've just created. Flatten out a line and draw down it. Now make a fold along the widest diagonal. Draw a line down the crease to the centre. Fold the long side into the centre point you've created. Draw along the crease so you create a triangle. Now you've got all the elements of a tangram. Okay, start cutting.
A tangram has 7 pieces, 5 different sized triangles, 1 square and 1 parallelogram. But with these 7 shapes, you can make thousands of other shapes, like a bird, or a boat, or even a rabbit. Pretty cool, huh?
That's odd. A rabbit? I'm sure I left a bird here on the table. Now that's a puzzle. I'm going to give Angelique the surprise of her life. I'm making out there's a monster insect trapped in this bag. I'll only fool her if she has a listen. Good. Hearing is believing. She thinks that's his huge feet. She's imagining colossal antennae and mighty munching sounds.
Here's something worth knowing about sound. It travels much better through a solid like paper than it does through air. Even the tiniest scratches are much louder than we normally hear.
So that can trick your brain into thinking the smallest bug is the biggest monster. Oh, it's so scary.
Just goes to show that things aren't always as scary as they seem to be.
I don't know, Dinah. If I was facing the fate of one of Ty and Margot's flying eggs, I'd be petrified.
Our attempt to get eggs down to Blake without breaking any is failing miserably. We've tried everything. I think we need a parachute. Get some garbage bags, tape, scissors, string, and some plastic cups. Ty will make a small parachute. I'll make a big one. Just cut out a square. Then you'll need 4 pieces of string, all the same length. They'll be the suspension lines. Stick one of these to each corner of the plastic square. Then attach them to your cup. Put the precious cargo in the cup. Which will float best? The big one or the small one? Right, we're ready to test. 1, 2, 3, bombs away! The small parachute's much faster than the larger one. Small one? Crash landed. Oh, so did the large one. Back to the drawing board.
A parachute slows an object's fall. It fills up with air and creates a lot of wind resistance or drag. You need enough drag to overcome most of gravity's pull and slow the descent.
What can we do to make our parachute even slower? Maybe the suspension lines are the problem.
Most skydivers jump from planes at about 4 kilometers above the ground. They fall freely for about a minute. Then they pull the ripcord to release their parachutes. That slows them from a speed of almost 200 to less than 20 kilometers an hour in about 3 seconds. Now that's some air brake.
I'm going to find out the best way to get butter stains off clothes. And Blake's my test dummy. A pretty reluctant one too. Come on. Good, got the shirt. Now to test what gets these stains out. Okay, I've got lemon, I've got onion, and I've got milk. First the lemon. Just rub it in. Not really working. Now the onion. Rub that in too. Not much better. And now for the milk. Just a slurp. Ah, yeah. He's got no idea what's going on. To get the stain out, you need to dissolve it. And the rule goes, like dissolves like. The butter stain is basically fat. There's no fat in lemons, no fat in onions either. But milk, it has loads of fat. It dissolved the butter best of all. There you go, problem solved. Now he knows how to get butter stains out.
I've set Ben a challenge. He's got to fold a square of paper into a shape that'll make a bang when you flick it. No, that's not right. Making shapes out of paper is called origami. It looks more like agony the way Ben's doing it, but he's pretty determined. Keep folding, Ben. Nope, that's not it either. Looks like he's run out of ideas. Time for the expert to step in. He's not going to find any answers in a book. I'll show him how to do it. Take a piece of stiff paper, say 30 by 40 centimeters. Watch carefully. Fold the long edges of the paper together, then open it again. Now fold all of the corners to meet at the crease. Fold the paper in half along the first fold, then fold it in half lengthways. Looking good, Ben. Fold down the 2 sharp corners. Now fold the paper back along the second fold to make a triangle shape. Like this. Now for the fun part. Hold it by the 2 sharp corners. But how does it work? Like this.
When the paper banger is flicked, a flap of paper springs out. This produces a sudden and large movement of air, forming a sound wave. Lightning is another big banging sound that's caused by movement of air. We hear it as thunder. A lightning flash heats the air so that it expands suddenly, sending a powerful sound wave through the air. Love that origami paper banger. That's what I call ingenious.
I think Margot and Ty had better come up with something ingenious before they run out of eggs.
I think the answer to making our parachute go slower might be in the suspension line. I'm going to make them twice as long. In goes our test pilot. Whoa! Yes, that's good. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh! There's a crosswind! It's landed in enemy territory! Careful, Blake! At least it landed safely, so the longer strings did slow it down. At last we're on the right track, but how can we improve the steering? Now what do real parachutes do? I've got it! Vents!
Vents in parachutes help skydivers steer by letting air escape out one side of the canopy. They increase the rate of descent a bit, but they provide stability in windy conditions.
We'll need to make 2 hand-sized cuts in the parachute. Right, here it is, our last hope. Let's see if the vents do the trick. 1, 2, and 3! And off she goes! A perfect landing! Yes! We did it! Wow, look at that butterfly! I've got to show this to Solomon. Hey, where did it go? There must be a way to make him come back. I know butterflies go searching for pollen and nectar to eat. They find it in flowers. I've got an idea about how to get him back. Sophie and I have set ourselves a challenge. We have to get our ice cubes out of our glasses without touching the ice with our fingers. First, the chopstick lift. Nope. Now the sticky tape trick. Hopeless. What about the toothpick extraction? Nah. Now we're stumped. What's left that hasn't been tried? Well, we've got some salt. And there's this thread. This is going to need some thought. We're onto something here. Drape on the thread. Then sprinkle the salt on the ice cube. Wait a minute. Then lift. Yay!
When salt is sprinkled on, it melts the ice for just a second. But within a minute or two, the cube refreezes, trapping the string firmly enough so it can hold the weight of the ice block.
We've got rid of our ice cube, but now our water's too salty to drink. Lucas thinks he's really good at hide and seek, but he'll never find me this time. Uh-oh, tickle in my nose. Here it comes again. find out what makes me sneeze.
I love this music. It's so cool. A rainbow. How did that happen? Let's see how many colours there are. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. I don't get it. Sunlight's white. But all these different colours are on the paper. That means the colours come off the CD. Or are there different colours in light? Which is it?
White light is made up of lots of colours that we see when it separates. Sometimes when it rains, white light is split up by water droplets to form a rainbow. The same thing happens with bubbles. As white light travels through the watery wall of the bubble, the colours separate. And these colours are visible because tiny ridges on the metal coating of the CD have made white light split up too.
It's a whole world of colour.
Those rainbow colours are so beautiful. Pity the bubbles just drift away and disappear.
Well, maybe if they're a bit more like butterflies, there'd be a way to persuade them to come back.
Butterflies and other insects are attracted to flowers. That's where they get their food. So maybe if we make our own flowers, we'll be able to attract that one back. Down to work. Do a white flower first. Draw some petal shapes. And cut them out. Let's make a red flower too. Good idea. The middle should look as much like pollen as possible. Finished! No butterfly in the world could resist these beautiful flowers. Now we wait.
Flowers have different colours depending on the type of insect they want to attract to spread their pollen. Butterflies are often attracted to red flowers.
The flowers aren't attracting anything. Not even the red one. I think we're doing something wrong. Looks like Sodom's got an idea. According to the book, allergies and sneezing occur when your body overreacts to things floating in the air. What things are floating in the air? I can't see anything, but maybe there's a way I can. I'll need card, hole punch, sticky petroleum jelly and some string. First I'll punch holes in the card, some string to hold the cards up. Now, I'll spread the gooey jelly over the cards. Okay, I'll hang them in the garden. Now I might find out what makes me sneeze all the time. Look at those fantastic swirling patterns. They look fantastic. But water's a clear liquid. Patterns are hard to see. I'm going to try and make the swirling patterns in the liquid more visible. I know. Food colouring. I'll fill up a bucket with water. Add a few drops of food colouring. Pour it all in and watch how it swirls away. Well, it looks sensational, but the water's still too thin to see all the swirling patterns. I wonder if there's a way I could keep the patterns still and see them really close up. I need to slow the swirling down. Yes, liquid soap. Maybe it's too thick. Better add some water. Not too much or all the soap will turn to foam. Put the lid back on. Time for the great experiment. Cool! I can finally see lots more patterns in the liquid. I knew it.
The liquid soap contains a chemical that gives the soap a nice pearly shiny look. It holds together even though the water is swirling around. That shows up all those patterns you'd never normally see in crystal clear water.
Who'd have thought a bottle of liquid soap could be a pattern-making machine?
Who'd have thought all those invisible patterns were floating around all that time right under our noses?
You've just got to find a way of seeing them, I guess. Which reminds me, I wonder if Priscilla's been able to find out what's been floating in the air and making her sneeze.
Time to see if my cards have collected anything floating in the air. I'm sure there's lots of junk, but I'm not sure what it is. Better have a close-up look. Dust! Pollen from plants. Pollen from some tree. Oh, yuck! I think that's dandruff. Oh. There must be hundreds of bits of pollen and junk in the air. No wonder I sneezed. But now I know of a foolproof way to beat that junk in the air. My face mask has beaten the allergens and Lucas.
Breakfast, the most important meal of the day. So Mum and Dad tell us. But do you know what you're eating every morning? I bet James wonders what I'm up to. Yeah, thought he'd think I was nuts. Okay, not like this. But you probably eat some metal yourself every morning. Honest. Watch this. Take your regular cereal, put it into a bowl and cover it with water. Mash it up with a spoon for a while. Then when you've reduced it to a pulp, grab a magnet. Stir around the bottom. Now look closely at the end of the magnet. That's iron! It really is. Can't see it? I'll make it easier for you. I'll rub it on this paper. Still can't see it. Hang on, I'll get a magnifying glass. That's iron, it really is. Our bodies need it to make blood.
That's why if you look at the ingredients on some cereal packets, they'll have tiny pieces of iron or iron stuff added to the mix. Cleverer still, drinking orange juice at the same time helps your body absorb it better.
Hey, I never knew that when I'm eating cereal, I'm actually pumping iron.
Hey, slow down, big guy. Take some time to smell the roses. And I wonder what's happening with Joseph and Sonam's fake flowers.
Sonam thinks she knows where we're going wrong. Real flowers smell. They have a scent to attract the insects. Honey dissolved in water with a touch of perfume. The perfume to attract them and the honey to feed them, just like real nectar. Now we wait for a while. Look, a butterfly! And another one! It looks like she's eating our nectar. Our fake flowers have attracted the butterflies.
Wow, what a great way to get a close-up look at beautiful butterflies. Too bad they didn't hang around.
Well, when you've got to flit, you've got to flit. And we've reached the end of another Backyard Science, so we're going to flit too. See you next time.
Make your own movies on a budget.
A test for all you windbags.
and the secrets of hidden creatures.
Getting to the bottom of those rock pools.
How to be a balloon surfer.
And aiming for the moon.
But first, there are plenty of amazing animals to see underwater.
That's if you can see them without getting soaked.
Now, that calls for a little seaside ingenuity.
There's nothing that Genevieve and I like doing better than a bit of exploring. Look at all the stuff going on in these rock pools. Each one is a self-contained underwater world. When the tide is high, it fills the pools up. When it goes out, whatever little critters were in there are stuck until it comes back again. It's just amazing what you can find by poking around in rock pools. Mollusks, starfish, crabs, and shells. It's fantastic to see what's on the surface, but there's probably a lot more going on in the deeper water. But how can we see in there? And how can we catch stuff? Surely there must be an easier way than getting our clothes wet. There's not exactly a lot of bits and pieces we can use to make things with here, but I do have a plan.
Balloons are like little cushions of air. I wonder if they're strong enough to support my weight. Stand back, guys, I'm gonna walk on air. This is what I call comfy footwear. Very fun, but I'm not beaten yet. If I sit on it, my weight is spread more evenly. Okay then. Maybe I need some more balloons. That might be the go. Start blowing. Bombs away! Back to the drawing board. I've got an idea. Let's try something. Hold steady, everyone. How cool is this gonna be? Hey, what do you know? I'm sailing on a sea of balloons.
When Blake puts his foot on a balloon, it takes all his weight, which is too much. When he's on the table, his weight is being spread evenly over many balloons, so they don't pop.
I wonder if we could all get on board. Come on!
It's time my coin collection had a bit of a clean-up. That didn't make it shinier. That didn't help either. How to get rid of stains. Okay, so what I need is a bowl, a jug, a teaspoon, some vinegar, and some salt. Start by half filling the jug with vinegar. Pour it into the bowl. Add a couple of teaspoons of salt. Give it a really good stir. We're ready for the test. I'll give it a few minutes. Maybe a few minutes more. Cool! It's clean! And it only took about 20 minutes.
The dirty coins are covered with a layer of oxygen and copper molecules, called copper oxide. The salt and vinegar combine to make an acid mixture that really attacks that copper oxide.
Now for the rest of my collection.
Wow! I
reckon Margot will be able to see what's on those coins much better soon.
I wonder if she and Genevieve will have the same success trying to see into their rock pool.
Genevieve and I want to find out what lives deeper in these rock pools, but we don't want to get wet. So I've come up with this. These nets are easy to throw together. Just get hold of a loop of wire, pick up a spare pair of tights, bend a bit of wire into a loop. Cut the legs off the tights, you won't need them. Sew both leg holes up and attach the waist of the tights to the wire. Add a handle for a bit of extra reach and tape it up. Mightn't look that elegant, but this is our access to an underwater world. Let's see what's down there. This is trickier than I thought. Our net is great for catching things, but we can't really see what we're doing under the water. We need something else.
Listen up, Rocketeers. We're gonna put a rocket on the moon. No, I mean we're gonna be the first to put a rocket on that moon. Go on. See who can build a rocket that can make the distance and hit the target. Going for a slimline rocket body. Don't forget to decide where to put the fins. Getting creative with the fins in the middle. Great. Seal the top with tape so you can blow it into orbit. Using sticky tape for a bit of extra weight. Around the middle, I see. Okay, launch time. Green rocket, launch. Pink rocket, launch. Red rocket, launch. Yay! We have a moon landing! Green, that sticky tape in the middle made it too heavy. Pink, fins in the middle obviously didn't work. And red, weight and fins in just the right spot. Well done! Now we've made history in our own backyard.
That should be long enough for my coin collection to look dazzling. Yep, they're all looking pretty shiny. I wonder if they'll get even shinier if I leave the salt and vinegar on them. I'll leave half of them with the vinegar and salt on. The rest, I'll give a bit of a rinse. There we go. They look pretty clean, that's for sure. Well, the rinsed ones are still shiny. But hey, look at the ones with salt and vinegar on them. They're worse than before.
When the coins are exposed to the air, the salt and vinegar mixture makes it easy for copper atoms to join with the oxygen from the air and chlorine from the salt to make a new greeny-blue coating called malachite.
Oh dear, I'm worse off than when I started. Back to the salt and vinegar bath for you.
Hot dogs, my favorite. She just doesn't understand. Maybe Priscilla needs to know how big a stomach is. Stay right there. We'll make a pretend stomach out of leftover plastic bags. Now if I can just remember this from school. That's a start. Then we need another wider one. Now we need about 5 long ones. That's about how long a stomach is. Now for the journey of Harry the hot dog. When we eat, Harry travels from our mouths
about 30 centimetres down the esophagus to our stomachs.
The stomach is the first stage of digestion. Acidic juices start breaking down the food.
From the stomach, Harry starts his long trek down the small intestine.
The small intestine is actually pretty long, about 4 or 5 metres in a kid. It's where all the goodness is absorbed out of the food.
Harry's nearly there, just the large intestine to go.
The large intestine is about 1 metre long. It takes any water out. Anything left is just waste, and it gets kicked out, well, out the back door.
Oh, yep, that's Dirty Harry all right. He's come a long way, and it happens every day in every one of us. Right, maybe room for one more.
That was the grossest thing I've ever seen on Backyard Science.
Yeah, that's about as low as we get. Unless, perhaps, we need to get to the bottom of a rock pool.
Genevieve is out looking for some stuff that we can use to make a pair of underwater eyes. That's how we're going to look deep into rock pools. But I've already found what we need. Old milk bottles and a roll of cling wrap. Start by cutting off the tops. Keep the handle, that'll be useful. Then do the same with the bottom. Cling wrap over the bottom end. And all held in place with some red tape. Pretty simple, really. But does it work? Only one way to find out. Wow, this is good! You can actually see through the cling wrap really clearly. Look what's down there! Okay, so I can see some things, but how do we catch them? Looks like we'd better combine it with the net. Then we have eyes and hands. Wow! There's some fascinating creatures down there. We'll have to put them back though, and they'll be there for anyone else to see. If they know how to look.
My ambition is to be in pictures. Moving pictures. But what should I be exactly? A famous actress. A brilliant director. A genius writer. A deal-making producer. I know, an award-winning camerawoman. Maybe not. So many choices, but I don't have any money. Hey, what about a cartoonist? How do they make cartoons? If I draw a picture on this card, I should be able to make it move. If I'm going to make a cartoon, most of the drawing has to be the same. First, I'll do an outline in pencil. Now to go over it in pen. The pen leaves an imprint, so I can make my next drawing identical. I'm going to have some fun with that missing arm. But first I have to do more drawing.
I'm about to create a masterpiece. But I don't think trees are really my thing. I want something wilder. How about I make my own oil paints? If I put a bit of this linseed oil in with the paint, let's see. Now, I know oil floats on water, so I'm going to make a floating painting. Brilliant! It looks amazing! Now I wonder, can I save my paintings? What'll happen if I put paper on top? Perfect! I've caught the image. And when you dry them, you can hang them in the finest gallery.
Joseph always wants to show me how strong he is. But I think this time I can show him he's just full of hot air. Hang on, I've got a better test than arm wrestling. This won't be as simple as it looks. I bet you can't blow the paper into the bottle. Looks pretty confident, doesn't he? Harder! Go on, blow! Come on, muscle! Pretty pathetic, strong man.
The air you blow flies past the paper and hits the bottom of the bottle. This increases the air pressure inside the bottle. When the compressed air rushes out, it pushes the paper out with it.
Which goes to prove that you really are full of hot air.
Margot's right. That's impossible. But anything's possible in the world of cartoons. Let's see how Sophie's blockbuster is coming along.
Finished! 12 cards, all with the stick man on. May as well give him some eyes. Now for the missing arm. I'll make sure each one is in a slightly different position. Time to check how it's working. He's waving at me! Why don't I change his expression as well? Time to bind the book together. Now for the fun bit. Yay! My first cartoon! I'm going to call it Stick Man Wave.
A cartoon works because our eyes and brain hold onto images for a fraction of a second after the real image has disappeared. That means if you can get a second image up quickly, they seem to blend together. And that's all a cartoon does. It keeps replacing images before you have time to register the change. So it all looks part of the same picture.
Hey, I've just had another idea.
This is the best part of making a cake, putting the decorations on it. This sieve is great. The icing sugar is coming out really fine. But I bet that water can't get through the sieve. Come outside and I'll show you. Watch this. Not bad, huh?
It's because of surface tension. When water comes into contact with air, it pulls together as if it were forming a skin. That means that each little opening in the sieve is so well sealed that air can neither flow in nor water flow out.
Wait, there's one more thing. Watch what happens if I lift the bottle just a little bit. Come on, cheer up. The cake's pretty good.
Here we go. 1 raw egg, and making sure the water's cold first, 1 hard-boiled. Let's see if Ty can tell the difference. Can you tell which is which? Oh, I think I've forgotten myself. No, don't smash it. I know a better way. Just give it a spin. Did you see that? Watch. When I stop the egg with my finger, then quickly let it go, it starts spinning again. I reckon this is the raw egg. Yep, I'm right.
In a raw egg, the runny yolk and white inside will move separately to the shell. Unlike the egg in the cooked shell, which is solid, it moves with the shell. When the raw egg spins, the soggy insides keep on spinning even when the shell stops. The motion of the insides forces the shell to start spinning again.
So this one should be hard-boiled. Here's your treat, Bonzo. Now I just need to teach Bonzo to peel his egg.
Not a wild creature in sight. They're hiding from things that want to eat them. Time to go and look for some. Come on. What is she wearing? She's dressed for a disco. We'll never see any animals now. They'll spot you a mile off. You could have worn something to blend in with your surroundings. Green, for instance. It's all about not being seen. Let me show you how animals do it. First, help me cut out some moths. Now colour them in. What? I don't think that's a great moth colour. Look, if I put our moths in a tree, yours are easy to see, but mine blend in with the natural colours. Yours would have been eaten in an instant.
Making themselves invisible is how many animals protect themselves from other animals that want to eat them. Many animals take on the colours and patterns of the plants and rocks around them. It's called camouflage.
So some animals can even sneak up on you.
Now this is really clever camouflage. I'll bet you can hardly see me. And I can't wait for the finale of Sophie's movie.
Do you want to try something really complicated? It's called, wait for it, a Zoetrope. We're going to use it to make a moving picture with. Don't worry, this will work. We're going to make drawings and rotate them on the tub. First I measure out a piece of paper, the exact diameter of the tub. It's like a bendy ruler, so I can mark up the tub. Now cut some slits. Perfect! Because of my careful measuring, all the slits are the same size and evenly spaced. Now for the cartoon! This time, I'll move Stickman's legs around. Our cartoon's nearly ready. Just stick the pictures between the slits. Now all we need is a thumbtack. Lights, camera, action! And now wait until it's at the right speed. Yay, it's moving!
A Zoetrope uses the same principle of moving images that a camera does. If the second image is in a slightly different position from the first image, to the eye it looks like the object is actually moving.
I think I'll call my latest masterpiece, Stickman Jump.
Looks pretty good, doesn't it, Jason?
Yeah, but it's not that easy being animated, I must say.
See you next time.
thief is foiled by the power of the pen.
It's a backyard launch at a birthday party.
And some bird brain schemes at Angelique's place.
Danger ahead.
Anyone know how to build a bridge?
Our guys could use a little help.
Richard makes a noise you've never heard before.
And cool.
Magic slime. It runs through your fingers, but you won't believe what happens next.
Slime. Welcome to Backyard Science.
The show that is not afraid to get its hands dirty as we dig deep for fun.
We'll get back to that slime soon. But first, Blake and Sophie are about to discover a big problem in a little ditch. Do you think they'll get over it?
Race band, here we go. Who will be the backyard world champion? I'm catching you. No way. Too easy. Uh-oh, I think I spoke too soon. We've got to find a way over Heartbreak Hollow. Well, we could try to jump it, or we could build a bridge. I'll be right back.
Why is she taking so long? I'm starving. Oh, now she's lost the salt shaker. Why don't chips come already salted? If they did, I'd be eating them by now. Ah, I could invent the ready salted potato. Great, I'm going to sell ready salted potatoes to all the chip shops. I'm going to make a fortune. Let's see if it works. Right, peel the potatoes, chop them up. A couple of bowls of water. In go the chips. A bowl for Sophie, and one for my salty experiment. Time for a chat while they soak. Alright, see you then, bye. Now, how are those potatoes? Oh, that doesn't look too good. I wonder how Sophie's unsalted ones went. They're fine.
Ben's ready salted chips turned out to be an experiment in osmosis. That's where water moves naturally from where there's a low salt level to where it's high salt. In the bowl he didn't salt, the potatoes stayed as they were. But in the bowl that was salted, the water within the potatoes was drawn out into the salty surrounds by osmosis, leaving behind
rubbery potatoes. Oh, so I won't make my fortune then. But at least I've got my chips. And I think I'll stick to the traditional way of salting them.
My bedroom just doesn't cut it as a dance club. What it needs is a bit of fancy lighting. A mirror ball will transform this place. To make one, first you need your reflective surface. A bit of wrapping paper will do. Stick that to some cardboard. Next, draw the shape. It needs to reflect light in as many directions as possible. So, by using a 5-sided shape, a pentagon, draw one in the middle and then 5 more. One on each outside edge. Then do the same again. But make sure one side joins the first shape. Then we need to put tabs on to hold it all together when we fold it. Each edge will need a tab. Draw these with dotted lines. Then cut along those lines and you have your shape. Now score along the folded lines and fold over the tabs. Then fold it into a ball shape and stick it together. Just make the room dark and point a lamp at the disco ball. The transformation is complete. See the way the light catches the different angles and reflects around the room. No self-respecting disco is complete without one.
Do you know how to
roar with your mouth shut? Use a bull roarer, of course. It's quick and easy to make one of your own. First, make a hole at one end of a thin piece of wood. A ruler is perfect. Next, carefully tie on a strong piece of string, about 70 centimeters long. Now, make sure everyone stands well back, and you're ready to roar. Hear that? I'm making the wood vibrate, and that makes air vibrate, which forms sound waves. And check this out. When I spin it slower, the vibrations are slower, and they make a low sound. But when I speed up, the vibrations become faster, and it makes a higher sound. So, a bull roarer works because the sound waves in the air, and it looks pretty cool too. Hold on, that's not meant to happen.
Here's the challenge. I have asked my 5 mates to figure out how they can balance on each other without falling over. It needs timing and coordination, and no weak link. You better come back later. This might take a while.
Looks like they've got a fair bit of work to do before they figure out how to support each other, Dana.
Sure do, Jason. I wonder how Blake and Sophie are doing at building a bridge to support their cars.
Never fear, Blake the bridge builder's here with my trusty cardboard bridge.
More like Blake the dreamer. This'll never work.
Stand aside, here I go.
Let's see that again, shall we, race fans? Good try, Blake, but back to the drawing board for us. We need a stronger bridge. Okay, so what went wrong? When the car went over the bridge, it sagged in the middle. There must be ways to make the bridge stronger. Squares aren't very strong at all. The square bends easily because it's not a strong shape. What about triangles? They're really strong. When you push down on a triangle, the weight is spread.
So we build a triangular bridge?
Nope, we use the triangles as part of it. Like this. See the triangles? They make it more rigid.
Okay, let's give this one a go.
I'm not using mine for this. Give me yours. It was definitely stronger than flat paper, but still not strong enough to hold the car. There must be a better shape to use.
Who thinks the longest suspension bridge in the world is the famous Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco? Wrong. In fact, it's only number 8 on the list. The longest is the Akashi Bridge in Japan. The middle section between the tall pylons is 1.9 kilometers long. Yet the entire length of the Golden Gate is just under 1.3 kilometers long.
I knew that. I did. And I know you're going to love the next bit. It's all about magic slime.
Roll up for the amazing punching slime show. Gather round as my lovely assistant and I make the magic potion. Sophie, get the props. First, we get a wide, shallow container. Then add some corn flour. Next, pour in some water. Finally, a dash of food colouring for fun. Thank you, Sophie. The mixture will be hard to stir and stodgy, but soon it will become a gross, slippery mess. See how the magic slime slips through my fingers. Now, who thinks they're tough enough to punch a hole through this slippery mess? Ah, James. Good luck, but I think you underestimate the power of the slime. Oh dear, not as strong as you thought, eh, James?
The magic to this is in the corn flour. It has millions of tiny particles that hang in the water. Normally they flow like liquid, but when a force hits the slime, they lock together and make it almost solid. As soon as the force goes away, the slime turns gooey again.
is it so difficult to sit down on each other? Everyone needs to get into a tight circle. Stand right up behind the person in front, with your left shoulders in the middle.
It's all to do with balance points or centre of mass, which is usually somewhere around your belly buttons. So it's easy to balance when you're standing up. But in this group, unless everyone's balance is supported and everyone helps out, it's just not going to work.
Well, here goes again. 1, 2, 3. We've done it! Everyone's supporting each other. But hold on, can anyone figure out how we get up again?
We'll leave that one for you to figure out for yourself. Now let's see how our bridge builders are getting on.
Okay, we know that some shapes are stronger than others. Bridges are often built using triangles for their strength, but our paper triangles weren't quite strong enough to carry our cars. So what other shapes could there be?
Got it.
Oh, sure you do, Blake.
No, really, the cylinder. Look. If you press down on the side, it squashes easily. But if you press on the top, it stays strong.
Because the weight is shared by the whole structure.
I'll be right back.
You like this bit, don't you?
Here we go again.
You know what? This just might work. It's got my triangles on the top
And my strong cylinders supporting it underneath. But there's only one way to find out.
We've done it! We've conquered Heartbreak Hollow, using weak material, but shapes that make it strong.
That Blake next door, he's so obsessed with his plants. He's just got a new one too, and I think he's in love. I might just have some fun with it.
I can't believe it! Someone's taken my new plant! I've got to find it. I can't see any clues left behind. Hang on, what's this? The thief left a note to tease me, and that could be a big mistake. The ink on the note will help me find the thief. And here are the suspects. You've all got your own pens with you? Draw a thick line on the bottom of the paper. I'm going to compare their ink to the ink on the note. I will have my culprit in no time.
What are you doing? Making a cardboard film. You can't make films out of cardboard. Just watch me. I can. This'll be my screen. So what's the film about then? It's about a really good friend of mine. And he gets lost in the snow. Sounds good. See, there's the snow, and there's my friend the penguin. But they're on different sides of the cardboard. Just wait. I can trick your eyes into seeing them together. If I wind up the rubber bands, it'll really spin. Whoa! You try it. I think we might have a career in the movies. Let's make some more.
What's wrong with Sophie? She has a party and doesn't invite me. I'll show them what they're missing out on with my favourite party trick. That plastic film canister should be a good start. Now I need an antacid tablet and some water.
take the lid off the canister, put the antacid tablet in the container and add a little water. Now very quickly, put the cap on tightly, give it a shake, and as quickly as you can, place the canister cap side down and stand back. Now wait for the real birthday surprise.
Adding water to the tablet creates a gas called carbon dioxide. As the chemical reaction continues, it builds up more and more pressure inside the film canister, until the cap is blasted down and the rocket is blasted up.
Uh-oh, maybe not everyone thinks it's a great party trick.
Hey Dana, here's a challenge. Can you link together 2 paper clips without touching them?
That's easy, Jason. Give it here. It's not as easy as it looks, is it?
But John reckons he's got the answer. Here you go, John.
Thanks, Jason. A note and 2 paper clips. And all I have to do is link the paper clips. This is too easy. First, fold the note like so. And put it on the first paper clip. Then fold it again and put the other paper clip on like this. Then grab the 2 ends of the note and pull it apart. Hey presto, they are joined together, and I didn't even use my hands.
Oranges. I just can't get enough of them. But Mum says I can only have 1 before lunch. I'll have the biggest. But which one is bigger? They look the same. Maybe I could weigh them. No. I know I need a more sensitive set of scales. This coat hanger will work. 2 identical containers. Some string. Scissors. I need to make holes in the sides of the containers. Then cut the 2 pieces of string the same length. Thread 1 piece through the holes and tie the ends together. That's perfect. Now make another exactly the same. Attach the containers to the coat hanger, 1 at each end. Hang it up. Make it level. In go the oranges. Wait for it. Oh, it's close, but there's my answer. That's the one for me.
Now I have an ink sample from everybody's pens. I'm going to see whose matches the ink on the note left at the crime scene. First I need 4 cups. I fix each piece of paper with a paper clip. Pour in a little water so it's just below the ink line. And now watch what happens. As the water travels up the paper, the ink begins to run. Different pens use ink made from different dyes. This trick separates them. Here's the second one. It looks similar, but not exactly the same. Okay, the third one. The blues are coming out. And finally, this one's red and blue. They all look different. I think I'll soon have my proof.
I love birds. They really brighten up the place. I just wish there were more of them in my garden. A
According to my bird book, there are some clever ways to attract them. One is with the grass whistle. Split a long blade of grass down the middle. Stretch it tightly between the top and bottom of your thumbs. Blow through the gap. You should make a loud shriek. Another way is with a paper whistle. Fold a piece of paper in half and bend the ends outwards. Make a tear in the middle. Then hold the ends of the paper against your mouth and blow into the middle. And if this all fails to attract birds, high-pitched squeaking calls will often work. Rub a piece of polystyrene on a glass jar. Oh, I think that might have been too successful.
That's not something I'll be trying at home.
No, best stay away from that one. Here's a trick that won't put you in any danger.
How do you balance a spoon and a fork on a matchstick? Like this. First, wedge the spoon between the points of the fork. Then thread the matchstick through the fork. And balance it all in a glass. Easy. Maybe.
You know the drill. Your turn to do the dishes, Ben. It won't take long. Sure. But I know something I can do with detergent that's much more fun than this. Put 2 coins on the bench top, like so. Take a bottle and dropper with detergent and water in it. Then one with plain water. The question is, which coin will hold the most water? Let's see. In the right corner, plain water. In the left corner, detergent. As I add the drops, you'll see a dome of water gradually form. The coin with the plain water has lots more water on it. That's because the drops are much bigger. On the other side, the detergent breaks down the surface tension and makes smaller drops. Oh, the plain water has overflowed, and the soapy water is still going, and going, and going, and going, until...
But even though the detergent coin held a lot more drops, the plain coin still had more water, thanks to surface tension.
Ben, have you finished those dishes?
Oh, well, back to the task at hand.
Amazing what some people will do to get out of doing the dishes, isn't it?
Yep, but I don't think there's any way out for our plan thief. Do you know who it is, Blake?
Okay, now I've got my 4 sheets of evidence. I'll be able to tell whose ink matches the ink on the note. To get a sample from the note, just add water. There's blue in there. Now a comparison. No blue there. No, not that one. There's blue there, but it doesn't match. Yes, that's the one. The blue here is the closest match. Now to confront the thief. Anyone want to confess? Ty, anything to say? Sonam, do you have a new plan? No, the fact is, I know the thief is...
Don't worry, your plan's safe. Promise!
Great detective work, Blake. Now you've just got to catch him.
Keep running, Ben. Keep running.
We'll see you next time.
science. A race on the ice rink. The pressure's on.
Find out what gives jelly its flavour. Is it taste or something else?
And how to rock and roll with a ruler and a rubber band. Calling in a watery removalist.
Spin out with a high-speed game of marbles.
And a tasty test that'll leave you wanting more.
And that's just a portion of the Backyard Science smorgasbord.
As always, we've searched the globe furiously for the bizarre, the bold and the brilliant.
And yet again, we're here to deliver. So let's lift up with a bright idea from Sophie and Genevieve.
You look totally enthralled in that book. Not. I've got an idea that'll make it a really uplifting read. Try and pick it up without using your body. No good. I said not using any part of your body. Sorry, that's cheating. Leave it to me. Wait right there, and no touching that book. I'm starving. Hope Mum left us something to eat. Oh, Liam's not hungry. Sushi. Very sophisticated. Liam really thinks his sense of taste is so refined. Well, we're going to see about that. Here, put this on, James. Block your nose, Liam. Open your mouth and stick out your tongue. I'll put that taste of yours to the test. He has no idea what it is. This potato will get him. Yep, not a clue. He's not as good as he thinks.
Even the most refined taste is nothing without a sense of smell. Our tongues are covered with thousands of tiny taste buds, but they only detect the 4 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty and bitter. More complicated flavours are enjoyed with the help of smell, so holding your nose makes it hard to tell what food really tastes like.
Bet he's ready for that sushi now. Too late, sorry.
Hey Jason, block your nose, close your eyes and stick out your tongue. I want to try this out on you.
Alright, I'm starving.
Right, what do you think this is? Any ideas?
Chocolate? I thought you were going to give me something disgusting.
Would I do that to you? Moving right along, let's go to a heavyweight story now from John.
Okay, here's a thought. I know there's air in here, but does air have any weight? I've got an idea that might give me the answer. These old-fashioned weighing scales will do the job. Nah, I just can't get the right weight balance. Maybe air doesn't have any weight after all. But I still have one more idea up my sleeve. My plan is to find the centre of the ruler and hang it from this hook. Now I need 2 balloons blown up to exactly the same size and 2 pieces of string exactly the same length, so they weigh the same. Right there, perfectly balanced. Now for the fun part. Look at that! The remaining balloon has pulled the ruler down, proving the air does have weight.
It sure does. But we really only notice the air on a windy day. That's because we are so used to its weight pushing down on us evenly from all sides at all times.
So next time I call someone an airhead, I'm paying them a compliment. bored. I wonder what it's like outside. Cool, it stopped raining. Let's get out there. Oh, how bright is it? The sun's really stinging my eyes. This can't be good for our eyes, which makes me wonder how they cope when the light is always changing. Here, let me try something. Cover your eyes and wait till I count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, that's cool. The black bit in the middle is getting smaller now that you've opened your eyes.
The black bit is called the pupil, and it controls how much light enters the eye. When it's dark, our pupils get bigger, so they can take in as much light as possible. And when it's light, they respond by getting smaller. This is called the pupillary response, and it's designed to stop too much light from entering the eye and damaging it.
Okay, my turn now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very funny.
Being blinded by the light of science is a wonderful thing, Jason.
So too is the next instalment of Genevieve and Sophie's book-raising saga.
I've spun Sophie out. I've challenged her to pick up her book without using any part of her body, and the answer's got nothing to do with magic tricks. Right, cut a plastic drink bottle in half. And carefully poke a hole in the bottom. Now take some plastic tubing, attaching a funnel to one end and a balloon to the other. Now tie the balloon tightly with a rubber band. Trust me, this is the mind-blowing part of it all. Now push the balloon through the hole in the base. Now you hold this. I've got to collect the most important ingredient. I just know Sophie's gonna love this.
Ever heard the expression as weak as water? Well, they got it wrong. And to prove it, I'm going to unleash the power of water on these pencils. Start with a tin and fill it right to the top with water. Seal the lid firmly. Stick a metal bottle cap in the center of the lid so the pencil has something to rest on. Next, stick on the pencil. Take 5 more pencils and tape them together. Now put the tin on the pencil platform. Next you'll need loads of tape to strap the top pencil and the platform together on both sides. Now for the cool part. Stick the pencil can in the freezer for 24 hours and then check it out. Wow! The water's broken the pencil in half. Now that takes serious muscle.
Unlike most things in nature, water doesn't shrink when it gets cold. It expands. Water is made of molecules that stick close together when in liquid form. But when it is frozen, the molecules move further away from each other, taking up more space. This rearrangement is strong enough to push the lid open, snapping the pencil in two.
I told you water was anything but weak.
I bet Ben can't get the marble out of the bowl without touching it. Go on, give it a try. I don't think a stick will do the job. He'd be hopeless in the kitchen with those tongue skills. No, the vacuum's not powerful enough. Looks like you can't rise to the challenge. Move over, I'll show you. Start by slowly spinning the bowl and build up speed. Give it a go, Ben. Yes! You got the marble out of the bowl without putting a finger on it.
It happens because of something called centrifugal force. This pulls an object outwards when rotated at high speed, like the marble against the sides of the bowl. Actually, you could say centrifugal force is responsible for many of life's thrills. It is one of the forces at work when a roller coaster speeds around the track and helps hold you in when you're upside down and feeling inside out.
Oh, I'm feeling dizzy just watching our marble coaster. Whoops, right over.
Cool, that's what I call a real spin out.
Now from hands-free marbles to Genevieve's closed book test. So let's see if she's any closer to her moment of truth.
Right, I'm back, and it's crunch time for my idea to pick up Sophie's book without using any part of our bodies. So let's give it a go. Place a book on top of the plastic bottle. Sophie, keep that funnel high over the book. Steady now while I pour down the water. Look, the water's going down the tube. Hope my idea's not. Okay, keep pouring. Sensational! It's filling the balloon and blowing it up as it goes. Yes, we did it!
Raising a heavy weight like the book with water is called hydraulics. This powerful force uses the pressure of fluids to lift or push objects. In this case, it's created enough pressure to blow the balloon and send the book upwards.
See, I told you it'd be an uplifting read.
Liam loves racing me across the ice. We're ready to go. Uh-oh, what's Christy Grace doing here? Go! Oh, she beat us again. Liam and I hate it when she does that. She just skims across the ice, almost as if she's floating. She has an edge, too, to be precise. Those skates. I think it's time I let Liam into the secret of how Christy Grace does it. I get the idea Liam doesn't think there's a trick to it. Looks like I just have to show him. Blake hardly ever stops to look at what he's eating. He doesn't realise that looking is an important part of tasting, and I'm going to prove it. I've got 3 flavours of jelly: lemon, lime and orange. Now I'm going to use this food colouring to turn things topsy-turvy. The red dye turns the orange jelly deep red. A little blue will turn the yellow into this murky shade of green. And with this blue and red, the green jelly is a sludgy bluey purple colour. Let's leave these jellies to set. When they're done, we'll see just how much we taste with our tongues and how much we taste with our eyes.
John is always boasting about that watch of his. I need to find a cooler way to tell the time than him. There's an idea. I can make a sundial. It should be pretty simple to make. Draw a circle around a ball. Find the center of the circle. Make a hole in it with a pen. Cut out the circle and stick your pen in the hole. Look where the shadow's cast and mark a line on the outside of the circle. Now I'm going to need that watch of John's to get started. Time, please.
12 o'clock.
Hey, what's the time now?
2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 6 p.m.
Right, that's half done. I'll have to wait until morning to finish it.
As the sun moves daily from east to west, the pencil's shadow follows a path from left to right, ending at the sunset line. This is how a sundial looks in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, the shadow would point to the south.
I suppose you want to know the time.
No, don't tell me.
It's 11 o'clock.
I think that's what you call being beaten by the clock.
There are all sorts of ways I can make music around my home and garden. Here's my favourite. This is a way to drive your neighbours mad. So try making music with one of these. Get a wine glass and half fill it with water. Make sure your hands are clean. Trust me, it's important. Then dip your finger in the water and rub it around the rim of the glass. It might not happen at first, but keep trying different speeds. Cool, hey?
As the glass is rubbed, friction between the finger and the glass creates vibrations. You can see them in the water. They make the glass resonate at what's called its natural frequency. The musical sound becomes louder and clearer the closer you get to the natural frequency of the glass.
Put less water in the glass to make a higher note. Add more water for a lower note. Maybe one day I'll even be able to manage a tune.
Hey, did you know that I can hold a pretty good tune too, Jason?
Nothing personal, Dana, but the thought of you singing leaves me cold. Speaking of cold, I wonder how Joseph's going with his ice skating project.
It's so humiliating when Christy Grace beats us like that. As long as she's got those skates on, we've got no chance. I'm going to show Liam why. Put that brick on the stepladder. I'll put this chunk of ice on top of the brick. We'll need some wire and a couple of these plastic bottles. You grab the watering can and fill them. First, we'll half fill the bottles with water. They're going to be our weights. Now you coil one end of the wire around that bottle while I do the other. Get the tape, put it around the wire on the handles. Don't want the wire unravelling. Finally, screw on the bottle tops and we're ready to go. Put the wire over the ice. Hang the bottles down the sides. That should work. Just watch. See? The wire is already starting to melt the ice. The wire is kind of like a thin skate blade. It's putting pressure on the ice. The pressure makes just enough heat to melt the ice under it.
That's how an ice skate works. The weight of Christy Grace's body pressed down on the blade actually melts the ice. That means she's not scraping along hard ice, but sliding across a layer of smooth water. The water creates less friction, so Christy Grace slides a long way on every push.
I think Liam's got the idea now. And here's something else cool. The wire's cut right down into the ice, but it's not in two pieces. As soon as the wire's cut through a section of the ice, the pressure's off. The water refreezes straight away, so the ice stays in one block. Time for me to show Liam about another way to melt ice. Grab that broom and follow me. Good old Blake. You can always rely on his appetite. The colours are not what they seem. You can tuck into the jellies, but there's a catch. You have to tell me what flavour you're eating. Orange, lemon or lime. First, the deep red.
Lemon?
It was orange. Try again. The bluey purple one this time. Gone for the lemon again. It was lime. Now for the sludgy green.
Our eyes and our tongues aren't connected, but over years of eating, we are conditioned to expect certain colours to taste a particular way. So when we confuse our eyes, we confuse our tongues too.
Too late. This has to be lemon. And I'm going to eat it all before Blake gets any.
Sitting around in the sun doing homework is a nice idea. The girls seem to love it, but it always makes me feel just a bit dozy. Ouch! A rubber band! This could be more fun than homework. Hey, I like that noise. Sounded musical. I know. I can make a ruler guitar. When I slide my pencils up the ruler, it changes the sound. Hear that note? Hey look! Hear what happens when I slide it down. Even further and the note gets higher. Performance time!
Two can play at this game.
When the rubber bands are plucked, they vibrate and make a musical note. As the pencils are moved, they change to the length of the rubber band that can vibrate. The shorter the length of the rubber band, the higher the note.
Hey, you gotta hang on to your guitar to keep up with this band.
Daniela, hurry up and get ready for school. You'll miss the bus.
I'd better hurry. Oops! Darn! Better sew it back on. I'm not very good at this. There's lots of things you can do with buttons. You need a big button like this and some thread. Pull the thread through the button, tip it upside down and give it a twist. Then slowly pull the ends apart and watch what happens to the button. Hold your hand still after you've pulled once and keep watching the button. It unwinds, then winds itself back up again, almost as tightly.
When Daniela winds the thread, she's storing energy in it. When she pulls the thread, the energy is transferred to the button, making it spin.
Here's another trick you can do with a button. Uh-oh.
Daniela, you've missed your bus again.
Poor old Daniela. And she still hasn't sewn that button on. She's gonna miss all that school action.
Maybe she should join Joseph, Liam and Christy Grace down at the ice rink.
Liam is waiting for my next ice melting trick. I'm gonna see how far this puck slides. Not great. Now if you sweep, maybe the ice will melt and the puck will go further. Wow, that was much further. Told you there was another way to melt the ice.
By sweeping the ice, the pressure of the broom creates just enough heat to melt a thin layer of ice underneath. So the puck slides further on the layer of water that was formed.
Hey, I've got another even better idea. You sweep the ice again. Woohoo! Yes! Who needs skates?
Hey, now that's what I call having fun.
Well, fun is what we're all about here on Backyard Science.
See you next time. Coming up on Backyard Science, a fraction too much friction on the racetrack.
We blast off with a homemade rocket launcher.
And watch water walk a tightrope. Backyard Science goes camping, but what do you do when you've left the water bottle home?
A lung-busting, balloon-blowing mystery.
And gone off your greens? Here's how to grow your own salad.
But first, there's no better way to get away from it all than to go camping.
But there are a couple of rules to remember. Top of the list,
Don't forget the water.
We're going camping on Jen's farm. Genevieve's an expert camper. She reckons our campsite is perfect. Now for something to eat. We've got enough stuff with everything but the kitchen sink. Plates, bowls, food, knives and forks, cups and something to drink. Hang on, where's the water? I can't find the water. What are we gonna do? It's too late to go back. Looks like Genevieve has an idea. Oh no, I just remembered. That water's all salty. We can't drink that. What are we gonna do? Yes, I think I've got it. We're going to have to dig our way out of this problem.
Here in our backyard, we love balloon blowing up competitions. Go! Mine's the biggest. Oh, man, she always does that. I'm gonna show her. Here, take this. Now I'm gonna feed my balloon inside the neck of the bottle. And fold the balloon over the top. We're both gonna do it. Come on, slow coach. This time, try blowing up the balloon inside the bottle, like this. She thinks she can win. No matter how hard she blows, she can't get that balloon any bigger. Try again. Now watch me again. Up she goes. A clear winner. I'd better let her into the secret.
I don't like eating my greens. Let's face it, they're, well, green. And there's another problem. They taste nothing like chocolate. Worst of all, they're healthy. I know. There's a way to make your greens a bit more interesting. Grow your own. Get some seeds. Cress, lettuce or sprouts work well. Pop your seeds in a jar. Fill the jar with water and leave the seeds to soak. While you're waiting, take some cotton wool and lay it in a shallow dish. Pour on some more water, make it good and damp. Now those seeds, tip them into a kitchen sieve and sprinkle them onto the plate. Give them a spray and leave them on a sunny windowsill for a couple of days. When you've come back, they should have started to sprout. Give them another spray. Do that every day. After a few more days, it should be big enough to eat. They won't taste any better, but at least they're a bit more fun.
Oh, yum! A homegrown salad like that would certainly put a smile on my face.
I think it's going to take more than a salad to put a smile on Genevieve and Daniela's face. They've got to find some water and soon.
Here we are on our camping trip without enough water. But I think there's water down here. But we have to take turns or we'll get too thirsty. And there's nothing to drink. Not yet, anyway. Aha! It's moister down there. Have a feel, Jen. If we dig deep enough, maybe we'll find water.
Water often gathers under the soil where you can't see it. It's called groundwater. How far down you have to dig depends on what's called the water table, the level at which the water gathers.
Darn, no water here. But it looks like the hole has given Genevieve a new idea. What's she up to? Plastic? A bowl? Curious. She sent me off to get a stack of leaves. Oh yeah, makes sense. Trees send down roots to collect water, and leaves have water in them. Looks like Genevieve has got the solution.
Everyone knows what happens when you drink a fizzy drink too fast. Those bubbles are powerful little guys. That's nothing. I'm pretty sure I could beat that easily. All I need is a few bits and pieces to make some homemade bubbles. Vinegar, baking powder, raisins. Now, we'll start with a big glass jar. Half fill the jar with vinegar. Then add a teaspoon of baking soda. Whoa, Fizz City! Now let's put those bubbles to work. Drop in a coin. See if the bubbles can lift it. Too heavy. Not going anywhere. Maybe a grape. In it goes. Hey, it's working! Those bubbles pack a bit of punch. Not bad, eh? Raisins are lighter still. I'm going to try them. Here we go. Woohoo! They're bopping around all over the place. Yay, they look like they're dancing.
The raisins have a rough surface that traps the bubbles. When there's enough trapped, they lift the raisin up. When it touches the surface, the bubbles escape and the raisin sinks again. Then more bubbles form and the dancing starts all over.
Oh yeah, those bubbles, they're powerful, alright?
Good on you, Sophie. Keep that burping practice coming along. Hey, why don't I show you how?
No thanks, Jason. Save your breath. You might need it for blowing up balloons, like these guys.
Blowing up a balloon is all about air pressure. Do it normally, and there's more pressure in our lungs than outside, so the balloon goes up easily. But put the balloon inside a bottle, and that changes. As the balloon goes up, it squeezes the air inside, and that balances the pressure in your lungs, so you can't blow anymore. So how did I manage to do it? Ah, yes, well, it's all about a little hole. I made a small hole at the end of the bottle, so when I took my finger off the hole, some of the air inside the bottle could escape and the balloon inflated. But what about my sister? I was sneaky. I didn't put a hole in her bottle. Yay!
Big balloons like these aren't blown up by lung power. They're inflated as the gas-powered flame underneath the balloon heats the air. The hot air expands and stretches, filling the gigantic balloon. And because the heated air is lighter than the air outside, the balloon floats upwards. That's why these are called hot air balloons. If you want to float back to Earth quickly, just open a hole in the top of the balloon and the hot air escapes. Down to Earth you come.
Looking at colourful hot air balloons always seems to give me a lift.
Oh dear, you're just like those balloons, Jason, full of hot air. But at least you're friendly, which is more than you can say for the pair of balloons we're about to meet.
These balloons may seem like the best of friends, but it doesn't take much to turn them against each other. They look happy now, but watch this. I just rubbed the red one on my hair. Oh, feel that static electricity. And the red one tries to get as far away from the green one as it can.
When Joseph rubs the red balloon on his hair, it becomes charged with static electricity. It's the opposite electric charge to the doorway. Opposites attract, and so the balloon clings to the wood.
I wonder what happens if we charge up the green balloon. You rub it on your hair. It's trying to be friendly to the red one, but then... oh no! It's so charged up, it just can't resist that doorway either. I guess that's the end of a beautiful friendship.
We weren't able to dig far enough down to get groundwater, but the hole might do the trick yet. We're putting the leaves into the hole. Now put our plastic container in the hole, surround it with all those leaves. Now we put our plastic sheet over the hole. Anchor it down with some dirt around the edges. And put a small rock in the middle over the container. And now we just have to wait. I wonder if we've collected any water yet. Yes, there's some in there. Genevieve was right.
As the leaves get hot, the water evaporates from them. Then it condenses as soon as it reaches the cooler plastic above. Then it drips down into the container.
Jen deserves the first taste. Looks like it's good. It doesn't taste leafy at all. At least we know we won't die of thirst. Cool, look at them go. Awesome. Oh no, we're in trouble. That was one cool speed wobble. Okay, into the pits, race fans, where we're going to try out a little idea of mine. I want to know what makes the fastest track. Surface is all important, but exactly why? So first things first, we need a test track. Take a large piece of board and using thumbtacks, start hammering in lanes. They all need to be the same length and width. Now form rubber band barriers. A good track's a clean track. Now for a test run. Ben, you clock the speeds. Over a second for our smooth track. Alright, now this track is ready for some real action.
Genevieve and I have run out of fun stuff to do these holidays. Cheer up, how about one of my party favourites? Touch your nose, then each finger on your left hand with your right index finger. Easy. Now for the good part. Ta-da! Put this on and we'll see what happens. You ready? Okay, you can't see anything? First, put your left hand up in the air. Now put your right hand finger on your nose. Now make that finger touch each one of the fingers on that hand. Whoops, not quite. Missed. And you're very slow. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's really not as easy as you think. I'll have a go.
Our brain works like a computer, analysing information to give us a sense of movement and body awareness. This comes from nerve endings known as proprioceptors. While they work automatically, we also rely on visual clues. That's why it's a challenge when blindfolded.
Stop it! I don't look that funny, do I?
Time for our homemade Stomp rocket to blast off into outer space. Stop! Abort blaster! First, we'll show you how this mission started. To make a Stomp rocket, you need paper rolled into a cylinder. It's easy if you wrap it around a rod. Tape the top tightly so no air can escape. Now cut out 3 triangles for the rocket fins and connect the 2 parts. But this rocket will be grounded without something to send it skyward. So, to make a rocket launcher, take some plastic tubing and push it into a plastic bottle. Tape it up securely. Now join the 2. Okay, time for liftoff.
Stomping on the bottle causes a rapid increase in air pressure in the bottle. That air pushes through the bottle's opening, propelling the rocket upwards. A rocket's pointy nose cone is designed to minimize the amount of air it has to push aside in order to move forwards, as it hurtles deep into space.
Go boldly, Stomp rocket. May the force be with you.
Okay, Ben and I have timed the smooth track. Now we want to see what happens to the speed when we put different stuff on the surface. First up, we'll spread some glue onto the board and then sprinkle on some sand. Nearly 3 seconds. That's a lot slower than the smooth track. Now for a really rough ride, glue on some pebbles. Hang in there, beast. More than 3 seconds.
Hey, Speed Fiend! Wait till you see what happens when we throw this into the mix.
It's definitely a boy thing. Any excuse to tear up the track.
You'll never get it done, but let's not go there. Time now to throw on a beanie and take a trip to the snow.
We better be on high alert today. Kurt and his gang are after revenge for last week's Snowball Wars. I hope we can hear them coming. Everything sounds so muffled after fresh snowfall. That's probably because there's lots of air between the flakes, and it absorbs sound like a big pillow. Shh! Can you hear anything? I have a really bad feeling about today. They're after revenge in a big way. Quick, we're under attack! Ouch! That was a killer snowball.
Some snow is better for making snowballs than others. It depends on the temperature and the amount of air between the flakes. Perfect snowballs need to be made with snow that is densely packed and just starting to melt, so it can be shaped into an icy missile.
Okay, it's payback time. We'll be poised for a real warrior war when those guys attack next time. Start by packing the snow hard into plastic containers. By doing this, we have excellent building blocks for a snow wall. Great! This snow fort will give us the perfect advantage. Keep down low. Now we're perfectly protected. All we have to do is jump up and fight when they attack. Oh no! They've got us! Oh man, we just didn't count on them coming in from behind.
up in our faces, and whoever gets the wettest loses. Hope you're enjoying your sticky shower. Okay, my turn. Not a problem. And not one bit wet. Okay, double or nothing. This beats going to the gym. Poor Ty doesn't know about my secret weapon. A dozen taps, and that should be enough.
Tapping the can makes the bubbles rise to the top to form one big bubble, instead of staying in the liquid, making it spray everywhere when the pressure is released.
Cheers.
It's time for Priscilla to take a break with a refreshing glass of water. I bet you think there's only one way to pour water. Well, just watch what I'm up to. You'll need scissors and a glass of water. Cut the string and attach it to the handle of the jug, then give it a good soak. Next, thread the other end into your glass and prepare to be amazed. She looks worried, but she'll just have to trust me, because I won't spill a drop. There you have it. Water that walks a tightrope. Pretty cool, eh?
Water molecules like to stick together. They're attracted to each other like small magnets. The water molecules in the wet string encourage the water being poured to follow their path straight into the glass.
Now that's a drop poured with a difference. Hey, it was plain string.
Ah, there's no pleasing some people.
I know, I thought that was the most impressive glass of water ever poured. And while we're in the mood to be impressed, let's fast track it back to Ben and John's raceway.
Well, we've seen how the beast handles a smooth, sandy and bumpy surface. So now let's try out some slippery conditions. Under a second. So far, that's our fastest time. And lastly, imagine if it started to get frosty. Okay, 2 seconds. Right, our time trials are over. Now let's see them in an action replay. In lane 1, on the smooth surface, we clocked in at over a second. In lane 2, on the sand, it took nearly 3 seconds. Lane 3 was our cross-country, which took over 3 seconds. Lane 4 was the oil slick, clocking in with a crash at just under a second. And in lane 5, our ice track, coming in at 2 seconds. So the oily track gave us our fastest time, and our pebbles the slowest. I guess the pebbles held the beast back. And as for the oil, I'm not sure it was a good thing. My car spun out of control.
That's because there wasn't any friction between the track and the tyres. Friction is an invisible force that holds things back when two uneven surfaces rub together. It's sort of like nature's seatbelt, because it works to restrain movement, like when a car brakes and the tyres grip the road. The less friction there is, the faster things move.
And now there's nothing holding us back as we break out with a bit of friendly friction.
Good stuff. And they had buckets of fun along the way.
And so have we, but sadly all good things must come to an end. So, see you next time.